Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Kyle Tucker, King Tuck, signs with the Dodgers. My goodness, there's smoke. Lot to talk about it. Let's talk ball, though. Maybe some labor. Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Was Tony Clark a lefty or a righty? I forget. Tony Clark.
Both switch. Yeah. Big boy switch hitter.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen a big
Ridiculous
boy
beard
get
now.
on. Powerful. Game of Thrones. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Friday, January 16th. Arguably the biggest free agent signing went down. I guess time will tell. Maybe Bo will pull something out of his sleeve. Cody Bellinger, a big winner from yesterday. But the news is Kyle Tucker has signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the two-time defending champions of baseball, bolster their lineup, giving him $60 million a year. Coach Trev, the streets are hot.
The streets are hot. There's so many ways to go with this, Jakey boy. I mean, you could talk about the sentiment of the fans, which I think is very important to gauge and to obviously consider it. There's the Dodgers on-field product. There's Kyle Tucker's market that I think everybody got completely wrong. Completely wrong. There's the Blue Jays missing, the Mets missing. This is a massive saga, this event that's, I guess I don't know where you want to start. I think you have to start with what it means for the Dodgers just on the field and then go from there, I believe. Which what it means they have the best lineup in baseball. I don't know.
that might be too easy.
We did this last year. Jake, we did this last year.
Yeah.
Super team. Best roster ever created. About 4 or 5 of those guys that we were talking about as why they were the best roster ever created, like didn't even play or play a part in what they did last year. So it's interesting. We're going back to that again. The season's over. Dodgers are going to win it all. And you and I both joke, if the Blue Jays would have just finished the freaking World Series off, how is it a different reaction today? Instead, we got a back-to-back World Series champ going out and spending $60 million on Kyle Tucker.
Trev, we're men of the people. You are the son of a pool boy, or pool man, excuse me.
Yeah, thank you. It's a beautiful
I mean, at one point he was a pool boy. Both my parents worked for the great state of Connecticut, Department of Mental Health, Department of Social Services. Kind of makes a lot more sense when you think about those are the two people that developed whatever I am. And we might not be men of the people today because what the streets are yelling, I mean, the amount of people just yelling lockout, like, okay, I mean, we'll unpack that a little bit. There's a little more conversation than that. And then, Dodgers wise and Kyle Tucker wise, which is where the conversation starts. The Dodgers signed a free agent. And by the way, the Mets weren't that far off, and we'll get to them. But the Dodgers, and Trev, it's where, man, again, you and I could get lost in this for 2 hours, so we might have to contain ourselves. $60 million a year to play baseball. 4 years, $240 million. We've got opt-outs after years 2, 3, and a little inside baseball for you, year 4, because that's when the contract ends. That Kyle Tucker will be going into the Dodgers outfield. We talked about, Trev, I don't know if we got Kyle Tucker's market wrong. If this came out and it was 8 years, $240 million, and Kyle Tucker was getting $30 million a year, I'd say, yeah, we got Kyle Tucker's market wrong. Maybe we got it wrong in the other direction. He's getting $60 million a year, Pop. And if he has one good season in 3 years, he's going to reload if he still likes baseball at that point, which I might have an inkling he might still like baseball at that point.
So, okay, that's what I was trying to say. $60 million I don't think was on anybody's mind. Shorter contract we got there. I didn't think we were going to get 4 years as a short contract. This is like a medium range jumper right here, is what I would consider this contract. And guess what? I'm sorry, dude. This guy's not opting out of this contract. He's not. Why would you? Maybe the last year when you're only guaranteed 60 and you can go for more years, but like First of all, yeah, it's after the second year. I don't know, man. Like $120 million over 2 years is $120 million over 2 years. If you're winning World Series in LA, what's not to like, Pop? I don't know. It's
Hey man,
and
Trev,
we look about the he doesn't like baseball thing. Definitely overblown. I probably phrased it the wrong way, and we mostly talked about this on Chris Rose's and I's show, Baseball Today. Go check it out. We already put out an episode about this. I think we phrased it the wrong way. There's rats and there's guys that aren't rats. And like, again, I don't know Kyle Tucker personally. Have I heard things through the grapevine? Sure. But clearly, like, if you don't make it to the big leagues unless you love baseball, you might become disenfranchised with the sport. It might not mean the same thing as it did before. You might not like the business aspect of it or the pressure that comes along playing in the big leagues and the travel and the strain it puts on your family. But the guy likes to play baseball. Like, let's just get that clear. So I think we probably phrased it wrong. He's definitely having a good time right now. I mean, that is an incredible contract. He's on, like we mentioned, the back-to-back World Series champs. He gets to go to a team. And I think this is also what a lot of people meant and just, again, phrased it wrong. I don't think he wants to be Alex Bregman getting fucking scouting reports and talking to the minor league hitting coordinators about the players. He doesn't want to do that. And a lot of times, if you're signing with a team for the amount of money he just signed with, you better be at every function. You better get the scouting reports and you better become a coach and be that leader. He doesn't have to do that here. And I think that is where that's more of what we should be talking about as far as like his personality. And it's okay to have that personality. And in fact, we said like it's one of the reasons why he chose the Dodgers, I'm sure. It's like, I don't want to have to do all that stuff. I just want to play the game and be me. I think, again, we just kind of we messed up with how we were talking about it and saying he doesn't love the game. He loves the game.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be one of the funnier things to look back at the end of this offseason. You know, one of my favorite little Jakey games I like to play is when the contracts are settled. For the same amount of money, would you rather have this or that? And how about Alex Bregman for 5 years for 175 compared to Kyle Tucker for 4 years, 240? Like, that's going to be an interesting one to look back at in a few years. But again, this goes into Kyle Tucker's potential that we've talked about him as a player that it seemingly – there's a lot of, I think the funny thing is there's a lot of numbers for Kyle Tucker that show he is consistently good in this sport, which is so hard to do. I think one of Dalton's stats on here from 21 through 2025, 4 players had 4.5 B WAR in each of the last 5 seasons: Judge, Soto, Jose Ramirez, and Kyle Tucker. So that is kind of one of those notes on the consistency that this guy has brought. And in a sick way, there's more in there. And maybe it's in the Dodgers lineup, or maybe we're wrong. Maybe that's just a guess. But one of those seasons he played half of year. Nice, Jake. Great, dude. Half of year Kyle Tucker play good. What if that happens? Like, Trev, I'll throw a challenge flag. I think Kyle Tucker's going to opt out of this bad boy in year 2 or 3, because who knows where the market is set at, and who knows if he has that 8 WAR season. Alex Bregman just opted out of a ton of money, and he put up half a good year, if we're being honest. I know there's obviously different circumstances there, but like, I don't know. And the other thing I want to come back at on the Dodgers side of this, and there's going to be a lot of Dodgers conversation, and is this bad for the sport? Is this good for the sport? Oh, Kyle Tucker picked the Dodgers because he got to blend in. The Dodgers offered the most money.
Did they though? Like, I'm not a financial guy. There's no deferrals in the Mets offer of 200, and it was a $55 million a year, so 220 over 4. No deferrals. I don't know when the deferred money gets paid out. I don't think that is out there yet. At least I didn't see it. So, was the present day value the same? I guess for the CBT tax, $57.5 million is present day money. So it was more, according to that. I'm just curious. In the end, yes, it's more money. In the end, it's more money. And yeah, I mean, did Steve Cohen get a chance to match that? And he's like, no, I can't go the extra 20 million? Is that what it was?
We're starting to get tricky with how the actual math is laid out, but yes, the Mets' supposed final offer was 4 years, 220, so that would be 20 million short. But again, we've got a different signing bonus and no deferred. We don't have the Blue Jays' final offer, but when we get into some of the Dodgers' chaos of it all, the numbers that hit the final tweet or however you consume your information. Kyle Tucker, in a way, accepted the best offer or on par.
Sure. To go to a team that's surely going to be there.
Gonna be around it.
Can't say that about the Mets.
Didn't make the dance last year.
Yeah, and you can fault them for that. People will fault you for that. Hey, you're just taking the easy routes. Like, I don't know. Like, I always try to relate this back to just like people's decisions about their jobs. If the better company in your field was offering you more money, is that taking the easy way out or is that the smart decision?
Trev, sometimes it's a little more obvious than it feels.
It's become this players are greedy narrative out there. And I'm just like, I understand. I understand when we're talking these types of numbers that it's like, who can fucking relate to it? Like nobody can. So I get it. But like the other side of this is like the owners are all billionaires and it's 1,000 million to get to 1 billion and their franchise, like it's just, we're putting like these, a lot of times on the internet, at least what I'm seeing, it's like these small market teams can't compete. They can't compete. And they're almost making these teams seem like they're like the little guy, the mom and pop. And that's just like, it's not the case. It's not.
No.
But we can get into there is a conversation, and I'm not saying that fans are wrong and stupid because they're not. Is there a disadvantage to teams throughout baseball? No, there is.
Yes,
there is. Every team gets to play by the same rules, except for the fact the Dodgers have a massive TV deal.
Right.
They have an ownership group that can mitigate risk because it's a group. It's not a single family. So those two things alone allow them to take risks that other teams aren't willing to take. I will point out that as we've seen, and again, like we'll never truly know because teams won't open the books, but the Dodgers are also putting in a higher percentage back of the revenue into their payroll.
Correct.
And they're giving money. They're getting taxed like crazy on this deal alone, 110% of this contract. So, $57.5 million is what's getting hit against the CBT. Okay. That means that 110% of that on top of it is taxed and going to players' retirement funds and then the other teams that aren't across the CBT. So half of that. So call it $62 million. So $31 million is getting sent out to these teams just on Kyle Tucker's contract per year, getting sent to them as part of the revenue sharing process of this. And like, are these teams putting it back into the payroll? The small market teams? It doesn't really seem like it.
It doesn't feel that way. And yes, I think that's where we can echo the sentiment of the people. The system is not perfect. It's far from. But the fact is right now the Dodgers are playing by the rules. And, again, what the San Diego Padres did a few years back is the perfect example. The Padres that were a small market team for years, they still are a small market team, but their owner went out and paid. And your team can do that, but they're not. And again, yes, the TV deal is unfair. I think with some of the deferred money, we need rules. Like, I'm not the number one rules guy out there. I think we need something because, that something about that feels off right now. But there's also other teams paying a lot of money. The Yankees, the Mets, the Red Sox, other franchises have been putting out big numbers there, and they're not getting results. The Dodgers have just been a class organization. Like, And you could go through all their transactions and you could have traded for Mookie, or you could have signed Snell the year before, or you could have Freddie Freeman didn't want to leave. Remember that? Like, dude, you could go Tyler Glasnow you could have traded for. Again, there's a conversation like you had to pay him and the Dodgers because they have a bigger budget, the risk with blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, man. I get frustrated with that stuff. And this is where like my former Yankee colors are showing, because the Yankees, in a way, used to be this team, even though Yankee fans are fighting back now. We were homegrown. Yeah,
Dude.
you paid all those guys so much money.
Okay, a lot of things to unpack. I have so many thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm interested in a deferral talk. I don't want to get rid of deferred payments, because I do believe if we're talking about teams that don't have the TV contract, that is a way for them to get in play for some of these free agents. Now, I'd be interested in, and again, I'm spitballing here for the most part. I don't sit around and think about how we're going to restructure the financial system of Major League Baseball. That's not my job, man. I don't. No. And guess what? I'm a high school grad. Like I don't have that.
And
in
no
me.
shame. No shame on
I'm
that.
pretty smart for being a high school grad. I got college credits. I took AP classes.
That's good. That's sick.
Maybe we limit what the teams that are over the tax thresholds can defer. And we let the bottom teams that aren't over the tax threshold defer whatever they want. I don't know. Maybe that kind of makes sense to me in my brain. Big baseball brain, maybe not so big of a other type of brain. And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay to be wrong. And I'm okay to take the heat from people. The Dodgers, we always talk about them being a class organization. They are. Are they as homegrown as they used to be? They are not. But they still have a very good minor league system. They develop players. They surely know how to scout talent, Jake. As you mentioned, they went out and took Mookie Betts for who? For Connor Wong. Who else was it?
I don't want to point fingers at other players. Like
I'm just saying, like guys, they went out and made that trade.
Yeah,
they did go out and steal Freddie Freeman. Like they understand what they want, and they have the ability and the resources to go out and get it. I don't think we should be mad at the Dodgers. I just don't think we should be mad at the Dodgers. So yeah, I guess that's like where I'm at with all of this. And if you want to go to Yankees talk, and if you want to talk lockout, and everyone's saying it's never been like this before, the Yankees. I looked this up last night. Okay, 2005, the Yankees were spending over 3 times the median Major League Baseball payroll. 3 times. The median baseball payroll right now is around 150 to 160 million dollars. That would put the Dodgers at 450 to 480 million dollars. They're not there yet. So like do we have a lockout after 2005? We didn't. And also the term lockout.
Yeah,
we can have a lockout. Who cares if we have a lockout? It's a strike or missing games that we care about. We had a lockout before. Lockout just means that free agency has to stop. Players can't go into facilities, and coaches can't talk to the players in the offseason. Lockout. Stop using the word lockout. Who cares about a lockout? We don't want to miss games. We're going to have a bargaining agreement spat. It's probably going to get ugly. Fine. Baseball is doing too well right now as a whole for us to miss significant games, or like we shouldn't miss any games. For being honest, you know what we do? Get the sides talking right now. Let's not wait. That's
how they negotiate. And like Trev, I do want to put this out there. We could be wrong. Like, I don't know, one wrong thing happens, or Max Scherzer heads into negotiations with a samurai sword or something. Like, who knows? Who knows what could happen? But I do believe you're right. And I think things are leading up towards the next CBA, where there's going to be more TV contract stuff figured out, and there's going to be more money in the table to fight over. That, yes, I think in this moment in baseball, both sides aren't truly ready to go to war, but we could be wrong, and let's see what happens with that. Hey, let's talk a little more baseball for a second and just kind of close the loop on Tucker and the Dodgers. Even though, I guess there's not a ton to say, but it is brought to you by our friends from SeatGeek. Hey, go Go see this team. Maybe this is going to be a famous team you're talking about. Maybe they're going for a three-peat, or go see the last college football game if you got a chance to go there, and you definitely want the SeatGeek code for that. NFL World Cup is coming. SeatGeek has tickets to all of them and so much more. 35 million downloads. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. Boom. No one's mad at SeatGeek. SeatGeek, code Talkin 2026, 10% off any set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's if you've used the code before. If you haven't, 10% off any tickets with promo code Talkin 2026. Make sure you click the link in the description, download the app, have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. And Trev, honestly, this can probably be pretty high and tight. I think Bobo has the lineup, and it's looking solid for the Dodgers. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Tucker, Smith, Muncy, Teoscar, Tommy Edman, Andy Pages. Currently has Miguel Rojas on the bench just because he gets to do a World Series lap because Shohei said so. And that's before you get into their pitching, where I honestly forgot they signed Edwin Diaz. So I guess final Dodgers baseball thoughts, and I guess any final Kyle Tucker thoughts. Although, like, I don't know. I know sometimes we laugh at our, you were talking about big brain or other big body parts you have. Like, I don't know what else you say. Like, great Kyle Tucker. You just got $240 million for 4 years of baseball.
On the Kyle Tucker side, yeah, I mean, he earned it, man. He's been that guy for a long time. You can say he hasn't, and I've said this, and it's true. He hasn't had those like elite seasons, an 8-9 WAR season, but he has been consistently a very, very, very good baseball player. And he's got an excellent chase rate, and he doesn't strike out. Like he's a dude, man. Like he is. The Dodgers needed outfield help. They went out and got it. Like he fits everything for them. I'm looking at the lineup. The bullpen is hilarious to me because I'm looking at Diaz, Tanner Scott, Vesey, and Trinan. Tanner Scott was there last year. Vesey was there last year. Blake Trinan was there last year. None of those guys even like pitched in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Vesey for a completely different reason.
Yeah.
Tanner Scott was hurt / wasn't pitching well. Trinan got a couple innings, and that was bad. I'm curious. I keep going back to, yes, if the Blue Jays had won the World Series last year, what would the discussion be right now?
Yeah, I mean, it would still be loud, right? Like the Dodgers are making.
I don't think it would be as loud.
No, the Dodgers are making a ton of transactions, and hey, if you really want to go crazy, Looney Tunes, not talking Canadian money, but if Toronto won and they got a little more World Series money, does their offer for Tucker change and we're just living in a whole different world? And that's the other thing. Like, if there was another team kind of doing what the Dodgers were doing, I think everything would be going, there'd still be a conversation. Everything wouldn't be going away. The one thing that I will put a caveat out there that I like fair. That's part of the reason I like sports. Roki Sasaki in signing there, just because like a pipeline kind of opened up. There's something slightly amiss with that.
Dude. What do you mean a pipeline has opened up? We had a Japanese player go to Chicago. We had a Japanese player go to Toronto. We had a Japanese player go to Houston. This is not, everyone said they're going to get every single player. They didn't get one this offseason.
They got Yamamoto. They don't have room for those guys, Trev.
Dude,
where's a my slot in their rotation?
It doesn't matter. They'll push somebody out. Emmett Sheehan, see you later. Like, what do you mean?
Oh, so you don't like Emmett Sheehan? Because
I like Emmett Sheehan. That's what the Dodgers would do. Oh, you got any options left? He does, by the way, 2.
See you in the pen, kiddo.
Dude.
Yeah.
And again, they limped. Somehow, like they were on one leg and won the World Series.
Right. And I agree with that. I know
Miguel Rojas was the hero, dude.
Right? Miguel Rojas gets under that pitch a little more, or again,
or also Will Smith. Will Smith, nobody talks about. He was also the hero.
Right.
And Will Klein was the hero. Like,
yeah. And dude, some baseball people still aren't on this, and that's fine. And I didn't touch a lot of grass, but I know they were scared of the double play, but it was a tie game, and IKF was being a good soldier. And listen, I don't like the general's orders, and I don't like what the soldier did, because you could have won a World Series. And yes, I think this whole conversation changes. And again, Dodgers people, if you didn't like that part of the speech, I'll go back to what I said before. There's a lot of teams paying enough money, a lot of money, that aren't having near the same level of success. That the Dodgers have just been the class organization. And, if you want to do even more sliding doors, you could go to 2017. And, if they got that title, what are we talking about? We don't have to do that right now.
People are also coming at the city of Los Angeles. It's so funny, like the juxtaposition. Love that word, by the way. Haven't used it in a while. Of like what people say about LA. A lot of people say LA, earmuffs, is a shithole. It's disgusting. I hate LA. And then on the other hand, you're like, oh, of course she's going to LA. Why wouldn't she want to go live in LA? It's like, that's crazy. And you know what? It's almost accurate. Maybe there is a couple different sides of Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think you kind of agree. I think when I was in LA with you, there's some
every place has bad parts. Every place has nice parts.
I think there's still a consensus. I know how proud you get about LA. The consensus is still LA is.
We need help. We need a better mayor.
Here we go. LA consensus still a cool place, and especially if you have 60 million M's a year.
Where's Kyle Tucker gonna live?
I think you can make. You'd be my guy. He might be your neighbor.
Yeah, it's Studio City. He's gonna want a gate, I'd assume. I don't know, man. It'd be interesting.
You and him playing Minecraft.
I don't play Minecraft.
Good for Kyle Tucker. I think he does. Good for the Dodgers, and that's obvious. Do we want to go more CBA labor? Do we want to go more internet reaction? Do we want to go Mets? Like, where's your heart at?
Let's continue with like the baseball talk, because this is talking baseball. Mets, pivot point now. I said this on Baseball Today with Chris Rose. Like, does Steve Cohen go on tilt now? Or is he like, is he disenfranchised with like, I'm going to be the gunslinger. I'm going to be he came in and that was the thought. Like, he was going to be the guy that got every single free agent because he had the deepest pockets. Along come the Dodgers and they're like, nah, dude, like we're a fund. We got you. Like, so like, does he go on tilt, or does he like say, you know what, maybe I need to tighten up a little bit? Does he go and spend on Belly? Does he go and try to make moves? He's got assets to trade. Like, does he go and just kind of push the chips in, or does it make him shy that he's looking across, his league and seeing what the Dodgers have?
Again, I feel like the answer very much should be the chips are going in. Like, one of my first reactions is Cody Bellinger is going to be a Met. I've already had that planted in my head, and now with the Tucker move, I mean, Cohen tweeting, and who knows? Like, again, because you could spin this both ways. Like, maybe he really thought they were going to get Tucker, and he wanted to flex that and have a little fun on the internet. Maybe he was starting to get signs that they were going to have a crazy offer and get beat. But either way, if you're the Mets right now, hey, you can believe in Stearns and believe in system building and all that, but where are you at in the NL East right now? Like, the Braves feel reloaded and they just had a year from hell. The Phillies might not be done with the offseason and they still feel like they're a great team with some big prospects on the way. I don't know, man. Your trades this Pete Alonso left, and that guy was a lock for 35 homers and driving in how many runs behind Soto? You traded Nimmo for Simeon, which was a little bit of a money play, but I think baseball wise for the present, you got lesser. and you have young guys around the field. Some of them I like, but Trev, this game is really hard to be good. I don't know if Mark Vientos is going to be an all-star this year or back in AAA. That, like, if you're the Mets and you've paid almost a billy to bring in Juan Soto, where you at?
I'm just trying to think like what they can do, because they do have a surplus of young pitching that's very coveted throughout the league. Now, like the teams that are looking to get that young pitching, what do they have to offer? The Red Sox just signed Ranger Suarez.
Yeah.
So like that was one group I was like, that makes a lot of sense as a trade partner for them, because I thought they were going to go out and get Bregman or get Bichette, and they would want to kind of like bolster that rotation. Well, they did that via free agency. So now that kind of takes away you trading for some of these pitchers. And now it looks to me like the Red Sox have trade chips in that outfield to go out and get a Ketel Marte. So do the Mets go try to do that? Like, I think you have to go think outside the box. And I think you do. If you are serious about like trying to compete, you have to sign Bellinger. You have to take some of those young pitchers and go out there and try to convince a team and say, take these young guys. We need that major league talent right now. Like we need, I'm looking at their roster resource right now. What do the Mets need after Bellinger? Say they get Bellinger. Like, yeah, first base help. They had a guy could have done that. I don't know how many first basemen are available that you'd want to trade one of these very highly touted pitching prospects for.
Right. Yeah,
they're in an interesting spot, man.
So is the team across town. And I know people don't, we have another show where people can listen to us talk some Yanks. But yeah, man, both of those teams have a big old spotlight on them. Everything that people are talking about the Dodgers right now was supposed to be the Mets. It was called the Cohen tax. And now that reputation that we thought they changed with the Juan Soto signing hasn't really changed. The Yanks, man, again, I know they're not the Yankees that I grew up in loving baseball. Well, they act like they are. And I'll tell you what, if Aaron Judge walks away from this franchise without a World Series ring, that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace to the sport, to the team and the franchise and the fans. The fans that still go out here and we're Yankee fans and, oh, screw you guys. We're not doing anything. I don't know what we're promised in the AL East. And I guess zooming out to the CBA and baseball again and that stuff, other teams should be doing this. And again, I know it's not necessarily fair for the sport, and if you're a small market team, I'm sorry right now, but we do need to get some different rules in there, whether it's a floor, whether it's deferred payments if you're in the smaller markets, whether it's a different rev share, whether there's different penalties. I don't know. Guys are getting paid at an amazing level. I think that's good. I see people saying, what, $60 million for Kyle Tucker? Hey, not to hit you with like the Matrix, view things through a different lens. What if Kyle Tucker's worth that? What if a lot of players are just underpaid? And we could just view things through that scope. Isn't that interesting? I went on a ramble there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry.
I'm looking at like available third basemen for the Mets. I looked up, leaders of last year. Like Geno Suarez I don't think he fixes the Mets. Like, I don't think that's a fit. Couple names I'm looking at here. I don't think the Rays part with Junior Caminero. He had 45 homers last year.
No.
Royals not parting with Michael Garcia. Jose Ramirez. Those are the top three as far as F-WAR last year. After that, it kind of becomes like, hey, Manny Machado, nice season last year, 3.8 F-WAR. Matt Chapman. Like, do the Giants kind of like fold and say, hey, like let's let's start dealing some of these guys. A lot of Giants fans not so happy. That was like the predominant group of people in my X when I said, like, I think business is booming. Giants fans not happy about what's going on right now. I don't really think that's happy. I don't know what they do. Third base, they need corner infield help. They're in a predicament. Pete Alonso was the answer.
Seemed a little basic, but seemed like it would have worked.
What about the Blue Jays? I mean, that was another. He was rumored to be going there. I think they're okay. They've had a great offseason, dude.
Yeah, I think, sometimes we overanalyze, and why not? That's the beauty of sports sometimes. But, the Blue Jays front office came out and they said they had that quote that was like, hey, if we bring in a good player, we're taking away playing time from a good player. And I think that feels true. I don't know if they're out on Bo. I mean, Bo's got to be feeling juice. Bo and Cody have to be questioning everything right now. Like, wherever their negotiations were at, like, if you're Bo and Cody, do you want to be like, hey, if there's one of those 4-year, $55 million deals out there, I might be okay with that. That I don't know if the Blue Jays are in and out on those players. If you're in on Kyle Tucker for $60 million, should you be in on Cody for 39? Like, my logic kicks in and I'd say yes. That I don't know. I think those two remaining guys did great. I think if you have assets to be traded, like, you and I had a pretty good laugh when they were like, Ketel Marte's off the table. That's negotiating, folks. Because if the price goes up, maybe he's not. Because dude, it's mid-January. Some guys are already like around their camp. Like some teams, a lot of front offices are like, this is the team we're rolling with. That, yeah, dude, go hunt for third baseman and first baseman and let me know what you find. And then are you bringing in the guy that you thought was best for your team? And I know Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers are in an advantageous spot right now. I want to give snaps for Andrew Friedman as a young baseball boy that at a certain point was like, maybe that running a baseball team would be an absolute dream job. Imagine having the keys to this kingdom right now. Like, he's in the Hall of Fame. Congrats, Andrew Friedman. You made it. He also had a quote in 2016 that I might go spray paint on Yankee Stadium, that if you try to make the right free agent contract, you'll finish third for every free agent.
Yes, he did say
that. And I think there's a lot of teams that like to get the right contract for their free agent. And I don't even think they're thinking about team fit. I think they're thinking about overall WAR and that kind of thing, where, hey, the Dodgers are bringing in great players, but as we said, Trev, and I do want this to hit home for the Dodger fans that sometimes bring out the nails against me, you can bring in the wrong guys for the right price tag. My God, have they brought in the right guys?
I'm searching for answers for Mets fans right now, and I don't have any. They need some help. Corner infield, and they need some help in the outfield, and I think more than just Bellinger.
Why didn't anyone offer more for Shohei Ohtani? Can we play that game?
That seemed like a foregone conclusion, Coach.
Well,
that
okay,
one did.
I thought they didn't have an advantage.
That one seemed like a foregone conclusion. I don't know why it did.
Okay.
I don't know why it did.
Okay.
But they haven't. They've signed 0 Japanese players this year. That's all I'm trying to say. Now they did a good job with the guys that they brought over. That's for dang sure.
They might have got the 3 best ones.
We'll see. Oh man, this is just causing waves. I mean, my social media is it's ruined, Coach. People are yelling at me, telling me I'm an idiot. People nice people.
Yeah.
I told Chris Rose, Ian Happ's t-shirt company tweeted at me that I was an idiot. I'm like, what?
Time out.
Yeah, what?
Can we use a timeout here? Okay, why don't we call ourselves out briefly, Trev? I mean, what are we?
And people think I'm a Dodgers fan. What the fuck, dude? I'm not a Dodgers fan.
Is this just horrible? Because I can give you one spin. Like, I had buddies that are sports fans that aren't baseball people texting last night that are interested in the sport. And that starts to go into no PR is bad PR, but hey, baseball and Kyle Tucker, a guy that we said couldn't be like a face of a team. Well, they stole some headlines last night, and it was kind of a big night for baseball. There are flaws with the current system. I admit that. I don't think this is bad for baseball. And that feels like if I tweet that out right now, like I am, watch out. Watch out.
It's one of the first things that got sent to me was, can't wait to hear you tell us why this is good for baseball.
Right?
The Pittsburgh Pirates were going to give Kyle Schwarber $40 million a year. Okay? Are they going to reinvest that $40 million elsewhere? They have the ability to do that. They're a quote unquote small market team. This is okay. All right, let's get into it. And again, like, man, are these like super fleshed out thoughts? I don't know. And I've been in this game for a long freaking time.
We talk
ball a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of these owners, okay, and you could talk about the Dodgers, say, well, they have an ownership group with billions of dollars in assets under management. I understand that. You could talk about Toronto having the same kind of advantage. Here's what I'll say. Most of these owners got into this game a long time ago when franchise values were down. Or like obviously way less than they were. Most of these owners got in and bought these teams for in the hundreds of millions, if not even tens of millions of dollars. Every single franchise in baseball now is worth over $1 billion. I think the average franchise now is what, $2.5 billion?
Yeah. We're playing loose, but let's
just say that, okay?
Yeah.
If you need some help with payroll and you want to mitigate your risk, why not sell off a minority stake in your business and say you want to bring in some private equity. I don't know. Bring in another guy to share some of that risk with you. Cash out a little bit. Take the money. If you're hurting for money and this is a bad business, cash in on some of that franchise value. You don't have to sell the whole team. Obviously, you like it. And if business was so bad, Jake, why aren't we seeing more teams for sale?
And why are we
like these are smart businessmen? You don't get rich without being a smart businessman, unless your parents gave it to you. But like, if it's so bad,
yeah,
you don't stay in business when it's bad.
Yeah.
So like, that's what I think about, man. If the risk is too much, you can always sell the team, or you can sell a portion of the team, and guess what? Not only do you get help financially, but you also like get a big chunk of change. So why aren't teams doing this then? I don't even know what private equity really freaking means, but I know a lot of guys that I'm friends with work for private equity firms. A lot of them want to get into sports. Sports is hot right now. So like, people are always yelling at their owners, right? Wish my owner would do this. My owner can't afford this. Well, like, they can bring in people. There's no shortage of people right now in this world. And we can get into the economics of the world right now in a K-shaped economy where like the rich are getting richer. There's a lot of people wanting to get into sports right now. And if your owner can't do it, they can bring on somebody to help them do it. And like, I don't know. But like, to finish that off, like, because that is how I feel. On the other end of that, what I don't like, and this goes for players and owners, where we're seeing franchise values go up, we're seeing contracts go up. I don't like seeing it get passed on to the fans. I don't like seeing ticket prices so high that you can only go to 1 or 2 baseball games a year as a family. You can't even buy concessions because they're ridiculously priced. Like, I don't like that. So like, at the heart of all of this, and again, you have to take the fan into consideration because they are the business. They are what keeps this all going. And you know what? You have to care about, and you should care about them. I didn't get to go to a lot of baseball games growing up. The only times I really went was from like a family friend who had season tickets. We would go with him, and guess what? We'd bring tuna sandwiches into the game, which is badass, by the way. I'm not complaining about that at all. But like, we can't price fans out. Okay? So like that I think should be at the first thing we should talk about in 2026 at the end of the season is not about your piece of the pie, my piece of the pie. It should be about the fans. How can we make this a event, because that's what it is, where more families can come and enjoy it? We can worry about the TV rights later. We can worry about floor, ceiling, all that stuff. But like, I think that should be at the forefront of the conversation is, can we just like figure it out a way to make concessions and ticket prices more affordable for the average fan? Like that should be at the forefront.
Couple things. The ownership thing, you're right about, but also to defend the good people of Pittsburgh, if they got a vote to vote their owner out tomorrow, they would do it. So that's part of the problem, and I don't think there's anything that's going to change in that system. That it would be a dream, and I think even Manfred's had a couple quotes that are kind of like, we have a couple owners not pulling their weight. But also he's got to defend all 30 at once. So it doesn't work like that. It would be great if it did. And if we could, if there was some sicko American system that one owner had to sell their team a year or something, that's not going to happen. I think for the fan thing, and Trev, maybe this is an off-season episode for now or later if things do get crazy with the CBA, but like we should put on our actual thinking hats of like a 10-year plan. Because I did a little bit of this last episode, because you're right, man. And even if we get so greedy as a society, and like, I don't know, like all of us at the end of the day, you a little more money would help. Sure would. But that's how they view their business, and they're looking at bottom lines. And that's where, hey, I wish I could get mad at the Dodgers, because I wish there was more owners doing their damnedest. I wish there was more Padres that were like, hey man, the past couple off season we've been like, I don't know what the Padres can do. Like, are they flush with cash, or are they in a weird situation that's going to be a bad 30 for 30 one day? But right now, I don't have enough teams in those smaller markets pushing, and that does fall on the ownerships. Those GMs and those front offices, they want better players in. Someone has to sign off on the check. And that's that. From a 10-year perspective, you're absolutely right. The problem is, owners are saying, how do we get more revenue? How do we get more money? Well, it's tickets and concessions. That's a part of the formula. But, let's look at the Savannah Bananas right now. How good of an example of they are fan-first experience? That if you do stuff for the fans who are paying, who are watching the games, who are going to the games, who are buying merch, who are buying, like, the payoff over time is better than the short term. And we have just lost sight of that as Major League Baseball. So I hope there's a way that the owners can come together, because at the end of the day, if there's more fans involved, your overall value of that company and business gets better. That I do think we've strayed too far away from that.
Isn't there just some sort of equation that you can come up with? It's like, okay, I'd rather have my stadium full for a couple different reasons. Number one, it just like looks better. The atmosphere is better. It's more fun. Think about this. Is it fun? Is it more fun to go to like a stadium when it's half full or full? Like the vibe is just so much different on games where it is rocking in there, right? So what's the price point that gets everybody into the stadium? And what can you do to entertain people and have them want to come see your product on the field? I got to believe there is some sort of price point where it's like, okay, it makes sense for us to fill this damn ballpark up. Instead of having our ticket prices be out of reach and our concession prices be out of reach, we're like, nobody really wants to come to the games. Like, to me, like, that seems pretty simple. It truly does. The TV stuff is interesting because, I think that's where, a lot of teams want to make their money. I like don't care where the games are because I'm an idiot and have every single service that you can have, and like a lot of people can't do that.
Right.
And you know, for the teams that have their own channels, like for instance the Dodgers, if you're in LA, you can't watch them unless you have that specific channel. Um, and that's what's going to come to a head, and when all the other TV deals are up, is how is Major League Baseball going to try to get these teams, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, the Cubs. I'm forgetting the other teams that have their own networks. How are you going to convince those teams to say like, well, like you kind of got to stop that because we need to bundle everybody together because that's better for the sport of baseball. That's going to be the interesting time. That's going to be owners versus owners right there, and I'm curious to see how that goes. But it's like the stadium stuff. You can talk about the bananas. They truly try to keep their prices down. They're trying to do some sort of like no resale tickets. Because they want to have full stadiums. It just makes more sense. Like we got to get to a point where we just make it more accessible for families to get to the game. It's like the parking's ridiculous. The tickets are ridiculous. The concessions are stupid. It's like we need to figure that aspect out. In my opinion, that means almost more than anything, because when you get those experiences, when it's a good one and you feel like you're actually getting some fucking value. When's the last time in this world you felt like you got some value? Probably from this show. It's free to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the reason like the podcasting YouTube industry has been so
You just got to listen to a few ads and that's it.
Right.
So like feeling like you get value out of something is so rare in today's world that like that's where you have to focus on, is like, can we make a family of 4 or whatever your family is come out and feel like they got their money's worth? Right now, if you go to a baseball game, you don't feel that way. The games are shorter. It's more expensive. You just don't feel it. So there's got to be something, man. We got to figure that out.
Yeah, and I think it just has to do with the long-term vision, because also right now, short-term, and these are where a lot of the tweets and stuff going out, like baseball is doing amazing attendance-wise. Baseball is doing amazing views-wise. That, you know, I think that was what a lot of people were using to counter the people that like the Dodgers are ruining baseball. Are they? Maybe they are in a couple years. If you know, year 5 of the Dodgers winning the World Series, but I think we all know in the back of our heads with this sport, it's not how it works. What if the Dodgers weren't a 3-game playoff? They ran into the Reds, who were a little thin. Like, what if I'm not going to do that whole thing again. It's not exactly how baseball works. It gives the Dodgers a ton of options, and that's the scary thing. They hit under 200 in the World Series. They had a pitching staff that was hurt. Maybe we're at the end of this year like, whoa, we do need to use a timeout. But that hasn't really happened. You know, the Yankee teams I grew up loving, it sneaky stopped after 2000, man. Like they lost 0-1 to the Snakes, and then it took until 2009 where they signed a chunk of free agents to retool their whole organization. I don't know. I'm fascinated to see the next steps. Like you said with the TV stuff, I think that is going to be the next piece, and that's why we think the next labor negotiation will be really the ugly one. But yeah, I think baseball's drinking it in right now, and I'd like to think they have a plan with the TV stuff, because they're basically being open about it, that they're lining up all these contracts, and you every now and then you hear MLB's taking another one, or I think the Orioles recently came out that their TV contract was running out, or Matt, I guess let me know below. But like that's the plan. That's the plan.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's simplest version is that every single team is on MLB.TV, MLB.com, and you just have the app, you pay a certain amount of money, and you can watch any team. Blackouts are gone. Now, again, those teams that have their own network making a bunch of change, they're not going to want that, because they're going to say, well, that's a lot of our revenue gone. So maybe like the percentage of revenue goes higher to those teams for bringing that to the table. I don't see that happening, but that is the easiest solution, would just be like, we're all on one. And wouldn't fans really appreciate that? If you just had an app and you said, I want to watch that game today.
Yeah, and I think Yes, where the fun part about it, and again, this will be a late night episode when we need it, but nobody knows where the world's going because I guess I just get nervous. If baseball's only on the MLB app, how do you get new fans? How do you get because if you're a baseball person, you're like, yeah, this is a no-brainer.
Well, it wouldn't be only on. You could put it elsewhere, but it will always be on the MLB app.
Right.
Like no exclusivity is what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that is what they're going for. Like I think for some of this big picture stuff, the league kind of has it. We just don't know how they're going to get there, or will there be an owner rift at one point? Which fire me up. Didn't you? Who are your owners in the expansion draft?
The guy that
Dolly
owns
Parton,
all of Utah, right?
Guy that owns all of Utah, Ryan something. And then I think didn't you have a Dolly Parton Taylor Swift ownership group in Nashville?
Yeah.
Fire me up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's bring in some tech dudes that made a ton off Bitcoin that want to blow some money. Like, let's fire it up.
Feo, where you at, Feo?
The other thing, shout out Feo. This was the last thing going through my head. And again, some of these topics you and I could get lost for a long time, and we will, hopefully forever, Coach. I know you're trying to make it to 115. I don't know, 70.
Okay.
Maybe the most electric Rockies game this year. Do you remember what that was?
Most electric Rockies game?
Yeah. Yeah. On the other end of the spectrum, we talked a lot of Dodgers today.
Was it against the Diamondbacks?
I don't know who they played, and that's part of the hint. But it was maybe the most electric Rockies crowd this year. Do you remember they had Ryan Day?
Yeah.
Where they just had a bunch of people named Ryan come out to the game because people just want to have a good time, dog. And that's kind of the whole point. That's part of the reason we watch baseball. That's part of the reason you go to the games.
If Ryan Spilborghs is listening to this show, which why wouldn't he be?
He is.
You and your co-host both said you would quit your job if a certain pitcher, I forget who it was, went 7 innings against the Twins. He went 7 innings against the Twins.
Whoa.
Are you a man of your word? Are you a man of your word?
And finally, Trev, the beef you've been looking to cause on this program, we're finally there. And it's
I told him, I said, have you seen the Twins lately?
Oh, and some twin shrapnel to end it. This is a dream.
I'll be at Twins Fest, man. Like I'm gonna be there signing autographs.
Going.
I'm going.
Didn't Joe Ryan just
dropped out? Got a new baby at home. What do you mean? It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the guy who they said, and I should know it off the top of my head.
Okay. I mean, this is what the people want to end the episode with. Well, Trev finds that. Yeah, just to remind one.
Of course, it was Herman Marquez.
Herman
Marquez. That of a negative 1.1 WAR, 6.7 ERA. They said if this guy goes 7 innings, I think they said a quality start or something like that. I forget what it was. They're going to quit their job. And I said, you have not seen the Twins lately. Let's see what he did against the Twins. Maybe it wasn't Herman Marquez because he did not go well. Who else was it?
Okay. For those of you not interested in the end of the Minnesota Twins season, couple final notes. I like putting myself in other people's shoes. If you were a Dodgers fan today, or you're a fan of your team and they were doing what the Dodgers are doing, winning back-to-back World Series and signing more good players, would you be mad? I don't think you would be.
Antonio Zenzatella was the guy.
Oh,
that was the guy.
He had a tough season. He had a tough year last
7 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. He had a negative 0.4 WAR, 6.65 ERA in 30 games, 23 starts, 1.8 WHIP, but he got them Twins.
my other
He's a Dodger fan. He's a Dodger fan.
He's a Dodger fan. My other final update. Maybe people also try having yourself a Dodger day. I think I'm about to have myself a Dodger brunch. I think I'm going to have an omelet I think I'm going to have avocado toast. I'm going to have oatmeal. I'm going to have
Oh, a
fruit.
splurge day?
I'm going to have coffee. I'm going to have tea. I'm going to have matcha. I'm going to just go get everything. Why not? And see if you like how that feels.
Are you saying the Dodgers are going to get sick of themselves eventually?
No, I think it's a great feeling. I think
Oh,
if
I don't
I
like
would.
that. Sounds disgusting to me what you just said.
Well, that was a little gluttonous. We always struggle with that word.
It's gluttonous, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have to tell you something on that note,
Okay.
and we're past it now. We're just talking. I hired a trainer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This guy started talking to me at the gym,
Whoa.
and I'm like, all right, like I would actually like a trainer because I go in there alone. You know, when you go in the gym alone, like you can do it, you like it. I like don't like it. I feel like I don't push myself as much as I need to be pushed. And I just like asked him, I'm like, you know, what's the rate? And he sent me this. He's told me the rate, and I was like, done. So watch out, Jake.
Okay, I love it. I went on a program for a little bit last year. It wasn't in-person training, but it was nice having some guidelines and like, you know, just not having to think about it. I definitely think in person, you know, someone yelling at you and like not cutting any of the corners. Yeah.
The gym I go to, you know, there's a lot of old people that go to it. So typically he trains that age group, like
Right.
older people. And he was doing a demo with this older lady. She must have been 75 years old.
Sure.
And he was trying to put her on that like that rogue bike where you like have to do the arms too. And I said, dude, you're going to kill her.
Yeah.
Like her heart will stop. Like I've puked from those bikes before. You're trying to put her on that? And he's like, dude, I know. That's why I got to train you. I need that.
You're going to be on that at 75, coach.
I'm going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
75 is going to be the new 40.
I don't know. I feel healthy, feel strong. And we should probably let the people know I don't want to say we found out it was a holiday weekend, but we were like, okay. So I think there won't be a Monday ep. This is half a replacement for that. If Bo Bichette or Cody does something crazy, or Cattell, or know what was funny? This is where the internet is good. All the tweets that came out were like, what if LA trades for Scooble?
Jake sucks. They could. They got a farm system.
They got one of the best farm systems.
I told Chris Rose I think it's Bellinger Scooble to the Mets.
Be a good way to save face.
You know. And the Yanks just keep sinking lower and lower and lower.